1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Hand off. Here comes Fred. Looking up the middle. Now cutting back. There he goes. Fred's at the 40. Fred breaks a tackle. He's on the run at the 50. Fred's on the go. He's at the 30. Fred 20. Fred 10. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Wow. So back he's got a hold. There he is, 30. Taylor outside 40. There he goes to the 45-50. It's a foot race 40. Taylor 30. Taylor to the 20. He's to the 10. He's pulled out, but he gets into the end zone. Touchdown on the first play of the game. 77 yards. Fred Taylor erupts. High kickoff. Desmond Howard's got him at the 10. Has blockers, 15. Now there's a reverse play. He throws it across the field to Cedric to Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith down the sideline. Here he goes, 40. He's got room. He could go. 50, 40, 30. It's a foot race. They aren't going to catch him. 10-5. Touchdown, Jaguars. 85 yards on the double dip alley-oop reverse play from Desmond Howard to Jimmy Smith. Unreal. They trail by 6. Brunel takes the snap. Quick throw. Howard catch. 15, 10, 5. He'll score. He'll score. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Touchdown, Desmond Howard.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Glad you're with us here as we kick off a fresh week. It is Super Bowl week around these parts. Does it feel like Super Bowl week to you, Tony Smith?
Yes. And then I'm ready for it to happen so that we can
be beyond it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't to me. I like the season's over. I didn't think about the NFL much, if at all, this weekend.
No,
you know what I
not
mean?
at
Like,
all.
it wasn't like I missed it or anything like that. Now, does that mean I wouldn't want the Jags still playing? Obviously, wanted the Jags to get to the Super Bowl. And I feel now that we've had a few weeks to deal with the fact that there was a disappointing end to the season. It is what it is, kind of at this point, and I'm with you. Let's get beyond this. I hope Seattle wins because I just don't need to see the New England Patriots start up a new chapter of a potential dynasty with a second-year quarterback and all that kind of stuff. But beyond that, don't really care as far as the Jags go. It's not a direct rival either way.
Like, I'm with you. I'm going to be pulling probably pretty hard for Seattle, I imagine, once the game kicks off, because I know I spent, the week, whatever amount of the news around the Super Bowl that I heard with them talking about the direct comparisons with Drake May and how it compares with Tom Brady and the success that he had, going through this the first time. And I'm like, never again. Right? Like that kind of thing, never again. Don't want that kind of luck for New England Patriots fans, like that woman that was just at the game a couple weeks ago for the AFC Championship game, and it's like the good old days are back. I was like, good old days? Good? You mean 10 years ago?
Right.
Like what are you talking about?
Long-suffering Patriot fans. So, I absolutely. I'll probably root for Seattle hard, like you said, but in the end, it, doesn't matter that much to me one way or the other. It's not one of the direct rivals of the Jags, at least. Maybe they, as we talked about last week, they would be in the top 10 or a top 5, for some people out there. Heck, the Indianapolis Colts were barely in people's top 3 for a lot of what we were looking at last week. RJ Saunders is back with us here, fresh week. DG and the crew are off the rest of the week, RJ, so you get to take on a bigger, more starring role now. What have you prepared for today?
I am prepared to be a star in said role. I still feel like I'm the coming off the bench, maybe practice player that, just gets the guys ready for the big game, those guys being Mike Dempsey and Tony Smith. So I'm ready to go. I am what you would like to call Steve Kerr when he told Michael, pass me the ball, and I'm going to be ready. I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to make it. That's how I am.
But then you made it.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Because you're not just like a practice body. You make yourself sound like you're, just some guy that we're beating up on and you never get any minutes around these parts, man.
I know it's not like that yet, but, I'm not at starters minutes yet. Maybe 7th, 8th man.
The 6th man is a pretty important role.
That's a great role, but right. I do believe that the 6-man role is for the rotation of guests that we have each and every week. I understand they're not here right now, but I am a great 7th man coming off of the bench, give you guys good minutes, and I'm a great cheerleader on the bench. I'd cheer you guys on every time you make a good shot.
All right. Well, then, save your voice because we want to make it special around these parts. It is Groundhog Day today, Tone, which got me thinking of a couple of different subjects on the Jacksonville Jaguars. First one that came to mind was, which day would you relive in Jaguars history, which is a fun one, right? But we kind of want to be moving towards newness, and it doesn't mean we won't do some kind of retrospective shows in the off season.
If you were stuck in the movie, what day would you want as a Jaguars fan for that to be the day you're stuck in?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Or you just enjoyed it so much that you'd like to replay that day again the one time. That's not our official Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day today. Today's more focused on the 25 to 26 transition for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we're asking you today if the Jags could repeat in any of these categories this year, which one of these milestones would you most want the Jacksonville Jaguars to equal again in 2026? And it's interesting to see the way this has gone so far. Most people leaning into Trevor Lawrence producing 35 or more touchdowns. Your other options on here, 30-plus defensive turnovers. That's a bunch, man. I mean, that is tough to do in any season in the National Football League. Top 5 in red zone plus minus. And this is not a stat we talk about very often, but I try to come up with a stat that would be fairly comparable that the Jags placed highly in that has a correlation to winning and losing. And we came up with red zone plus minus today, which is simply defined as how many points your team scores in the red zone minus how many they allow, right? And the number one team in the NFL was the LA Rams by an overwhelming margin with 141 net in their favor. The Jags were 5th in the National Football League in this category. I'll go through some of where some of the playoff teams landed. This is a stat that has a pretty strong correlation to success and winning in the NFL. And then finally, do you want to be the number one run defense again? And I will say that I don't know if the number one run defense in today's NFL is the absolute best thing you could possibly be. But, man, the amount of people selecting this is minuscule, tiny. Like, man, just knowing you've got the other team shut down, and no matter how good the running game is, you're going to make them one-dimensional. Jags made every team they played basically one-dimensional on offense this year. Led to them winning 13 out of 17 games. So anyway, we'll talk about that today, what that would mean for this football team, the likelihood of repeating in some of these categories as well. And you're welcome to discuss those with us today as well at 641-1010 on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can hit us up and stream us today on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, or find us on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at R Has No J. You're listening to Jaguars Today. You tell us, which category would you most like the Jaguars to repeat in? Which milestone on this Groundhog Day, what would you like to most run back about the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars? You got the whole coaching staff back for the most part, with a couple of exceptions. So you've already accomplished that. What statistical milestone would be highest on the list for you? You're listening to Jaguars Today, just getting underway on Super Bowl week. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and RJ Saunders on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL.
I just came from the locker room, and one of the players told me this.
Home of the Jaguars, 1010XL.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
Jaguars Today Monday is built by Dream Finders Homes.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's Free Window February with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, when you buy 4 replacement windows, you get the 5th for free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer expires February 28th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
The boys are back in the kitchen.
Don't start the barbecue without me.
Joe, Matt, and Leon give you plenty to chew on during lunchtime. Freshly baked bread from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Thank you for lunch, boys.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, celebrating our 49th annual Valentine's Day sale. Come see our hand-picked inventory of thousands of pieces of fine jewelry, diamonds, and gemstones. This Valentine's Day, we have big discounts with jewelry for any budget. And with interest-free financing, you'll get the jewelry you love with a monthly payment you can afford. Monahans will also give you cash for your unwanted gold or silver, or trade it in for new jewelry and get greater value. Monahan Jewelers Valentine's Day sale with big savings in our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com/careers to find out more.
What racehorse won the Belmont Stakes by 31 lengths? The answer next.
When your homeowner's insurance policy is up for renewal, it's a good idea to shop around to find a better plan. Southern Oak Insurance for over 20 years provides Floridians a clear option. SouthernOak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Secretariat won the Triple Crown in 73, including winning the Belmont by 31 lengths.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
Royal Pest Services, a local company you can trust. Royal Pest is a certified installer of tap insulation, which stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Reduce that electric bill by adding pest protection. It's that easy. Online at royalpestservices.com.
Frank Frangie here. When you're inside the Kuhn Flowers showroom, you'll find a wide array of gift ideas that will take care of any gift-giving situation. Spend a few minutes there and you'll see for yourself. That's Kuhn Flowers on Beach Boulevard.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. Are you frustrated with those trendy pills, drops, and lotions that claim to make your hair thicker and fuller? Are you taking weight loss drugs or medication that's making your hair fall out? Whether you're frustrated with results from treatments that just don't work, or you no longer have the fuller, thicker hair that you once had, there's a better way. Our hair restoration solutions have helped literally over 10,000 men and women restore their hair in as little as 2 office visits.
Ready to grow your hair back and have permanent, natural, and guaranteed results? For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
I've got one, Tony. I've got one.
Oh?
I got a 2-round mock.
Oh, I thought you went fishing.
From a credible source. I've yet to catch a fish in my life. Are you aware of this, RJ? I've yet to ever catch a fish in my life.
Is this something that you want to accomplish?
No, not particularly, no.
Okay.
I've only gone fishing. I think the last time I went fishing, I was maybe in junior high school. I think I went twice fishing. Other than when I was a kid, we used to go, and I don't recall, I think that was more spend time with Dad kind of stuff. I don't think Dad was catching some 12-ounce fish, if you know what I'm talking about. All right? Back then, when we were driving around with no seatbelts in the damn station wagon in the 70s, buddy. Hey, Daddy's going to have a couple more 12-ounce fish before we go home. Let your mom know I had a successful day catching. Thanks, Dad. All right. So, yeah, never caught a fish. Are you a fisherman, RJ?
I am not, although, we have a couple of shows here that do make fishing sound interesting. They also do make it sound peaceful.
Oh, dear.
However, I think I am scared to be out that deep into the water and there's like no land anywhere. No one can hear you but the sharks.
What about fishing from like the beach? Or
You don't have to go deep sea. You could go to a lake.
You can go off a pier or something like that.
See, then I get scared about, like what if, the fish, it gets caught, it's hooking on the line. I'm trying to reel it in and then it just kind of pulls me into the water.
Oh, my, RJ. I didn't know where this was going. I thought he was going to have to deal with the slimy fish, take the hook out of its mouth. What if I hurt
Not even
it?
thinking about that.
What if I do this? What if the fish yanks me into the water
Yeah.
off of the pier?
Yeah. Now I'm screaming for help. You know
Wow.
what I mean? Yeah.
All
Help me
right.
out here.
Can you tread water?
I can, but listen, I like water where I can stand in it. If I can stand in it, I'm fine.
I understand.
But if it's, listen, it's deep amount of water and I can't even do like the little bunny hop jump. You know how some people, it's like they'll touch the ground in the pool and then they'll just try to jump because they can't tread water well. If I can't do that, then yeah, I'm absolutely.
All right, well that's fine.
Yeah, I'm cooked.
I didn't think you were afraid the average fish would yank you into the depths.
But I never think average fish. See, I'm going to go big or go home.
You're catching a
here.
Goliath grouper. Is what you're doing.
That's what's going on.
All right.
Listen, I'm not here for the small stuff.
Fair enough.
Pause.
E.T. I think was last week. Well known. E.T. joined the Coast Guard. Didn't know how to swim.
Yeah,
and might not think that the Coast Guard would be your best career path, not knowing how to swim. But they taught him how to swim. Yeah. So then. The drill was talking to E.T. last week, and he said he can't tread water. He can swim, but he can't tread water. Like
that's crazy.
All you do is
figure eight.
Do your feet like a bicycle in the water, man. Kind of just.
I would think that would be
a little
part of the training.
You would think.
Yeah.
I bet he did it well enough to.
Right. Yeah.
It's one of those things like, yeah, I passed. Yeah, all right, he's fine.
That is funny that you think every fish in a lake is Monstro from Pinocchio. Like it's just gonna drag you down.
I don't know. All right. Well, I just want to learn more things about RJ as he's our guy now. He's trying to work his way up from the 10th man off the bench the way he described it earlier.
So what did we say again, Dempsey? The C is the highest and then S is the second highest.
In the old non-graded system, yes.
Okay, so
that's correct.
So I'm working from S to C.
You're working,
that's
you're working up to a C.
Doing. Right.
Working up to a C.
But apparently I have like what was it? You said an M in fishing. I have an M.
Needs improvement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
You and me
totally.
both. No, I'm straight unsatisfactory in fishing. If I had a net, I could probably catch a fish.
I mean, I think I want to go fishing like one of these days, but yeah,
Bro,
I just have a fear.
I watch Alone. And the new season comes out on Netflix because I watch it after it's all there so we can binge it. And the new season comes out in like 2 days. And these people will have a piece of string with a hook and like a berry from a bush or some nonsense. And they're just like sling, zip, throw it out there by hand. And they're pulling in, 3-4 pound fish. Like, the hell, making it look too easy.
At a place where you're desperate for a 3 or 4 pound fish.
Right, and I'm guessing, and they don't pick the people to go on Alone who don't know how to, don't have some good survival skills. So you got to send in like a video showing yourself doing all these various survival things. I just say they make it look so easy, and I guess like anything else, if you know how to do it, it's easy.
Yeah.
Right.
But here's the thing, Tony. I mean, I know we're laughing about it, thinking that, I'm thinking every fish is Monstro, but listen, all the stories we hear fishermen tell and all the books in which we read, the movies we watch, it's never like a small fish. It's always this big gargantuan fish and they have this tall story and we just had a person get swallowed up by a whale and spit out. So that's my mindset. That's how I have now been programmed by television and reading that's how big every fish is. And any small fish is that the equivalent of a goldfish at a pet store. But if you go into the water,
nothing in between.
You go into the water, that's where we're going. We're going Just the big.
There are big things that lurk under the water, man. I've seen
There it
river
is.
monsters,
Yeah.
all right? I mean, there are some crazy things that are out there. There's no doubt about it. I not met a grown man who was afraid that one of those little fish were going to pull him off the pier.
But I'm not thinking little fish, Dempsey. Please don't have the people over here thinking that I'm scared of small fish.
You're thinking a giant killer whale size
there we go.
entity.
There we go.
Will alight onto your hook
Monstro.
and then yank you into the depths.
This
All right.
is Jaguars Today on 1010XL,
Yes.
92.5.
Well,
FM.
I mean, we got to get to know each other a little bit here. And
Yeah.
yes, and people, well, this must be a slow news day. It's February 2nd.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
So what did you catch?
What did I catch?
Yeah, this whole thing started with I caught one, and I said, "Did you?"
Oh,
go
I caught
fishing?
one. I caught a 2-round mock draft.
Okay.
That's what I caught. All right. I sent my feelers out there to see if there'd be a 2-round mock draft worth taking a look at. There's always a multiple round mock draft, but you gotta look at the source and how credible the people are. Not that any multiple round mock draft is going to be known for its accuracy once the actual NFL draft rolls around. But I mean, that's kind of the place we're in right now as Jaguar supporters, viewers, fans, what have you.
Absolutely, yeah.
I heard Jeff mention it this morning. It used to be, hey, fresh mock draft. This is the time of year. First thing I'm looking at, Monday, you're going to find 3 or 4 of them out there, and you will. Every week, you're going to find multiple mock drafts. Most of them won't have any bearing on what the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to do
Probably not,
things are
yeah.
presently constituted. But Matt Miller does have one. So let's hit some of the highlights here and see where the Jags end up going in this scenario, Tony. Fernando Mendoza at the top. Obviously, you're going to see that pretty much unanimously, right? Somebody's going to throw a mock out there that doesn't have Mendoza at some point just to get people going. Did you see the guy who had the mock without Mendoza as the top pick, by the way? So I guess Clint
More
Kubiak's-
as a reflection of we actually think he's the 9th or 10th best prospect in the draft, so we're not putting him at number 1, just being stubborn about it.
Yes.
That kind of thing, but it's the NFL. The Raiders have no quarterback. They're picking
He's
number
going
1.
number 1.
Yeah, he's going
He's
1.
going number 1, and the Raiders will not trade out of that. Clint Kubiak apparently will get that job, not official, and I guess Mike LaFleur will become the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals is what the speculation is, and then he moves on from the Rams. Does that make Nate Shieldhouse their OC this year? I would presume so.
I would think so.
Right?
yeah.
If he's getting all kinds of head coaching looks this year. Arvell Reese, the edge rusher out of Ohio State. These are a bunch of guys that you don't need to worry about. We will not be drafting them. Francis Malagoa. Right? Is he related to the linebacker of the same last name, plays for the Jets? I'm not sure about that. The OT out of Miami goes 3rd to the Arizona Cardinals. Reuben Bain out of Miami goes 4th to the Tennessee Titans. Sorry, Reuben Bain, if you go there, I'm going to have to root hard against you. Not that I'm going to root particularly strongly for a Miami Hurricane, but I'll have I don't care attitude otherwise. Just leave. Just don't be in the division. All right. We got to root against you hard. And then Carnell Tate, the first wide receiver off the board. Are there any other quarterbacks? Jeremiah Love is the first running back going to the Saints at 8. You see that a lot.
Yep.
And you're going to see the people who don't project him there, projecting him to the Chiefs at 9 a lot, I think, this offseason. I just want to get to the Jets' second selection and see if they've got them going up. No, they got him going Mekhi Lemon, the USC wide receiver. So I'm guessing maybe just one quarterback here in the first round as I make my way down to the bottom. Caleb Banks out of Florida, who had a good Senior Bowl practice week by most accounts, Tony. 6'6", 340-ish. Can bull rush you. Quick first step. Can we get some of that? Like that's, if the Jags do find a way to trade into that area, that's a name to remember, is Caleb Banks. Or if Caleb Banks slides past a certain number of teams and gets to a point where the Jags feel like the math on trading up is palatable. I mean, again, for me, personally, I like the spray of the pellets that you can hit with your shotgun with 4 picks in the second and third rounds. And I get it. If you had one surefire thing, would you take the surefire thing over 4 maybes? Well, sure, but tell me who the surefire thing is.
Right.
You can have a top 5 pick, and you generally don't know if you've got a surefire thing. So
Yeah, the NFL draft is not a surefire process.
Would you rather have like Caleb Banks? And I don't know the answer to this because I don't know how good and how rich the position is at the moment, right? Like, I don't know enough about the names that they could specifically target, but would you rather Caleb Banks or maybe 2 defensive tackles out of those 4 picks and a couple others? We looked at the price to get up, and 22 was about what you'd have to spend all those 4 picks would get you to. Pick 22, which is where Caleb Banks is coming off the board there. Again, just the name doesn't mean the Jags are going to be locked in on him, but when you talk about defensive tackle being a position of need, and he's a highly regarded one, it looks like we only had the 1 quarterback in the first round there.
So the Jets take Simpson in the second round.
They took him in but not with their first pick in the second round, right? They waited
44.
Yeah, at 44. They had the first pick of round 2. So they passed up taking a quarterback in this mock 3 times. 3 separate times. I mean, like, I get it. You can hit on a guy. Tyler Shuck hit for the Saints for what you're getting at pick 40. It took him half the season to get there, but when he did, he played pretty well. Tone, I get taking that chance, and they do have a ton of draft capital, but it does seem like they are building towards 2027, which is supposed to be a better quarterback class. Can you sell that to your fan base, though? Like, hey, Aaron Glenn, by the way, you're back, embattled. A lot of people thought we should have moved on from you after 1 year, but we kept you around. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to punt on the quarterback position this year. So good luck. Hopefully you can improve the squad this year without any long-term path laid out for you at the most important position in sports.
Yeah.
That feels like where it might be going. I don't know. Is drafting a mid-second round quarterback and developing him somewhat enough to keep you around for another year? You know what I mean? Like, and the next guy, like, poor anybody, like Ty Simpson, getting picked 44th there. Look, getting picked in the NFL is not a bad thing, but on a relative scale of what you'd rather have, obviously, you want to go to a place where you think that there's going to be an opportunity. There's definitely an opportunity there, but also some stability that the people who select you are going to be around to back you for multiple years, and you're going to get the kind of runway you need when you come into a situation, Tone, with an obvious, generally perennial losing franchise that has not a whole lot going for it right now.
Yeah, and they're just not in a position to be at the top of the draft so they can do the Mendoza thing, right? Like, that's going to be relatively comfortable for the Raiders, and everyone else in this draft that's looking for a quarterback is going to be scratching their heads about when and who exactly that's going to be. And look, we'll hopefully have the opportunity to talk to Tony Pauline and really start getting into the draft process here later on this week. But you look at all these mock drafts, it's not like this is the only one that doesn't have another quarterback going in the first round. Like, that's not uncommon to see at this point in the draft process right now. So it does feel like it's just one of those years where there may only be one guy, and he really is actually maybe a top 10 player in this draft, but not necessarily bona fide number 1 overall pick, but it's the position and a bunch of teams that are going to need it. So if we don't get him now, when are we getting one?
Right. Look, you got to take Mendoza if you're the Raiders. There's no question.
Absolutely. Like, I don't question them making that decision. It's the decision that has to be made. It feels like from a Raiders perspective, but I don't expect anything out of Mendoza as a pro. Like, I don't really have any hopes for
I'm
him.
not super excited, but I wasn't super excited about Cam Ward. I don't think they're like. I think they all have potential if they get the right coaching and the right support around them in terms of personnel and things like that, and the right scheme. But they can fail just as easily as they can succeed. I mean, look, Trevor Lawrence
Probably more easily.
Trevor Lawrence could have failed.
Yeah.
It definitely could have, or at least been stuck in neutral for his career. It feels like his career shifted into a higher gear this past year. Will it be sustainable? That's part of our question today. All right, so the Jags come up on their pick at 56 in this 2-round mock. They take Keontae Scott, corner out of Miami. So let's do this. Let's take a break here. We'll come back. Let's discuss whether that is a position that would surprise you if it comes off the board that highly. And again, we're going to start getting into some of these options in today's question of the day. We're asking you, which category would you most like the Jags to repeat in this year? Is it the number 1 run defense? Is it 30 or more defensive turnovers created? Is it Trevor Lawrence generating 35 or more touchdowns himself? Or is it red zone plus minus being ranked in the top 5. We'll tell you just how important that stat turned out to be last year when we returned in the moment with Tony Smith and Emmanuel. I called you Dylan last week. Just get up and walk out right now, bro. Just get up and walk out right now. It's just not fun.
Writing has certainly been on the wall.
It apparently is. E.T. He can't swim. He can't tread water. He can't fish, but he's not afraid of getting yanked off the pier. So he's got that going for him right now. All right, R.J. Saunders is here maybe for another segment if he's good enough to us. Straight ahead on Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Listen up, Googans. Hicken here, still talking skin. This time I want to give you some great advice for Valentine's Day. Look, don't buy anything that either dies or adds pounds. Go see the girls at Beaches Dermatology and get a gift card or even a specific skin treatment, one that will enhance her beauty, maybe even help her look like she did when y'all first met. It's possible. Skin treatment is very important, and a gift from Beaches Dermatology makes a perfect gift this Valentine's Day. For locations, go to beachesdermatology.com.
Dream Finders Homes Monday on Jaguars Today.
It's Cancer Prevention Month, and Ackerman Urology reminds you to stay ahead of prostate, bladder, and kidney health. Get a yearly checkup, ask about a screening, and make self-checks a habit. To make an appointment at one of 4 locations, visit AckermanUrology.com.
Let's talk about the sound no homeowner wants to hear. Drip, drip, drip. Still dripping. That's exactly why Duck Duck Rooter created the Love Your Pipes promotion. Plumbing problems don't scare us. Not with years of experience and honest upfront pricing. On our side, right now you can get free plumbing assessment on all fixtures with any paid plumbing service. It's the smart move to fix the issue now before it becomes bigger. So when you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-682-6769. DuckDuckRooter.com.
New year, new lifetime dreams. Let's build them together. Jeff Breyer here with the Lifetime family of companies, your local backyard
and indoor
home improvement specialists.
That's right, Dad. Lifetime enclosures, lifetime flooring, and lifetime windows.
Glass and screen enclosures, outdoor kitchens, pergolas, replacement windows, all to enhance your home's livability and value.
And a huge flooring showroom with thousands of the latest tile, LVP, hardwood, and carpet selections to help you fall in love with your home again.
Come experience the lifetime difference. Call or visit one of our showrooms today for our limited lifetime offers.
Lifetime enclosures.
This is Hayes Carlion for First Florida Credit Union. I went to the branch on 210 to get my car loan and had a fantastic experience. I got a great rate and was in and out. The online banking services are also outstanding. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards for 3 years running, and it's easy to see why. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Get your tickets for the Tom Coughlin J Fund Wine Tasting Gala. Join Super Bowl winning coach Tom Coughlin at VyStar Ballpark Thursday, March 5th and raise a glass to help local families tackling childhood cancer. Enjoy hundreds of wines from around the world and food from top local restaurants. Buy tickets and learn more at tcjfund.org/wine. tcjfund.org/wine.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
This is Paige, owner of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. People ask me all the time what's healthy, and that's hard because healthy is different from losing weight. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. There are a lot of foods out there that are healthy foods, but they're not going to support your weight loss. And that's what we're here to help with. We're here to help you get in the healthy foods that are going to help you lose weight. The Awaken 180 difference is our coaches. It's our team. You can find things online about weight loss, but you try them yourself and they just don't work. And that's because everyone is different. And that's what our coaches are so skilled at helping you figure out.
Thanks, Paige. Hacker here. Figuring it out, that's what I needed. And the reason I chose Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Not a med, not a diet plan. I wanted a solution. Do what I did and make a 180 with your health and weight. Schedule your Awaken 180 consultation today. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
RJ, it's interesting that you bring this up because, RJ plays Christopher Cross. I know it's him. I know. Oh, RJ's back. Look at that. Amazing. There is a show called The Beauty, which I guess is FX, but it airs on like HBO and Hulu. You can watch it. And the guy from Hamilton and The Heights. What is his name, Tony? If I could get there we go. Anthony Ramos. You know Anthony Ramos?
The actor. If I see the
you'd
face,
recognize.
I'm sure.
See this guy right here,
yeah.
right? You recognize him, right? So anyway, RJ, he's on this show called The Beauty. Have you heard of The Beauty?
I have not.
Okay, it's about this procedure that you can take that basically, it's a sci-fi kind of thing, right? Where it regenerates all the cells in your body and turns you more youthful and more beautiful. It has some bad side effects, as you might imagine, okay? So Anthony Ramos plays a character in this show, and I will not get into detail about what his character does because, might give away some of the plot. But anyway, they're in the car. He and another character are in the car, and he pops in some Christopher Cross, and he's basically yacht rock gets me in the mood to do my job, gets me focused, gets me centered, and then just starts going off on a whole dissertation on how Christopher Cross was the voice of his generation and how he got shut down because he had won 5 Grammys and all this stuff, way deeper than you and I know Christopher Cross. But his point was Christopher Cross, this is early 80s. This is before social media, right, where we judge everything instantly. And so by the time Christopher Cross's music started winning some awards, he started popping up on some of these award shows. People looked at him and they're like, that's Christopher Cross? That's all there is to it. He's like this average, plain-looking dude. And people were like, nah. They just kind of they loved his music until they realized he was just this average guy. But anyway, it was a very Christopher Cross-centric episode.
No, I just didn't know that Christopher Cross had other songs outside of sailing.
Oh.
See, that's my thing.
Got to ride like the wind there, RJ, and find out what some of those songs are.
Yeah, I got to learn this.
You should.
Because, sailing, that's the jam right there.
Oh, no, he was...
I'm still trying to find out the meaning of it. When he says that, is he talking about, on a boat, or is he talking about, sailing to the other side? I don't know. That's
I don't know. I always thought it was pretty straightforward, but...
I don't know. Some people, if you look at comment sections when this song's on YouTube,
drug reference?
No, not drug reference. Just I'm going to the other side, I'm going to heaven or something like that. Some people feel like it's that, or it's not just about boating or whatever.
Seems a little deep.
No, yeah. If you look at some comment sections, people have their own interpretation of it. So I'm like, I just thought it was about a boat and just getting out on the water.
I haven't spent that much time in the Christopher Cross comment section. I'll be honest with
you. Catching Monstro, that's what I'm thinking.
We did get a guy on Twitter at Broken Reel 23SGB. I have no idea what all that means, but
Broken Reel sounds like a fisherman.
Yeah, it was absolutely that. Yes, but he posted a picture of some of his latest catches right there and said that you should fish the pier with him and you would have success. So there's that. All right.
Listen, I'm all for it. I am. I told you the truth. I was open and honest with the people of Jacksonville.
You have fears.
I have my fears when it comes to fishing.
Fears. All right, that's fine. Jags draft Keontae Scott in this mock draft, Tony, from Matt Miller, cornerback out of Miami, described by Miller as an electric slot corner with elite blitzing skills and the speed to close on the ball, smart and instinctual in coverage, and pairing him with Travis Hunter next season would be fun. How do you feel about corner in terms of the needs for this football team?
I mean, it's on the short list, I think, for the football team. It's much smaller in my mind than interior defensive line or edge guy, like whoever the third edge guy would be for the football team. It's less of a need than that, but it's not so far away from those that if they went that direction with their pick in the second round, that I'd be like, what are they doing?
Right. It's kind of hard to critique a pick that we don't know that the Jags would make, or what else would be available at that point in time and how they would look at it, and free agency would have taken place already. But as it stands right now, like Devin Lloyd is going to roll off this roster. Right now, maybe they re-sign him, but until they do, to me, linebacker's a much bigger need than corner. Now, you need numbers at corner. There's no question about it. But if I told you right now that your top 3 corners next year would be Travis Hunter, Jordan Lewis, and Jarian Jones, would that be the worst thing in the world?
No.
I don't think it'd be terrible.
And I do think, look, we've gone through the free agent list here for the last couple of weeks, right? Like, we aren't spending every day talking about it necessarily, but we've been in and out of those lists here for the last couple of weeks. And it does feel like there is a lot of options at corner if that's where you're going to be shopping.
There are a lot of highly ranked corners on the free agent wish list.
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Jags do wind up picking up one of those guys, right? And then you do feel, not that you couldn't still improve in that area necessarily, but it's like, I don't feel like this is a need at this point for the football team. And I was one of the guys who last year going into the draft, I didn't think corner was that big of a need for the football team. I still kind of feel that way. Like, it's funny. It's the second year in a row we're going into the draft, and I'm going to have interior defensive line as my top need for the team.
Well, and like last year, clearly the team didn't agree with us. We all looked at that and they said, no, we're actually better. And, by some stretch, I get it. We'd all like that Jeffrey Simmons type, that Quinnen Williams type that could do it all. Hard to find. But they did lead the league in rushing yards allowed per game.
They did.
And that's got to be somewhat reflective of how those defensive tackles played.
What a year for Devon.
Yes.
Like, for a guy, and I think that really speaks to, how we all felt about what the expectations could be for that group. I don't have a lot of confidence that Devon Hamilton's going to be a good nose, right? It's like, I hope he turns into that. I thought he was going to turn into that 2 years ago before all the chaos that happened with him, but he played exceptionally well this year, and he's a big part of the reason why they were the number 1 run defense. Do I think that that's repeatable? Like, I do think that kind of speaks to our question of the day-to-day. It's how repeatable do I think that success is for the football team if they don't find some way to improve on that interior defensive line. I would be surprised if they kept it the way that it is if they were able to do it again.
Right, but for today's question, though, it's not what do you think is most likely.
It's not directly that.
If you could have one of these categories, I don't think we're going to sit there last year. I think if we would said which of these categories that we're going to vote on today is the most likely, I probably would have said Trevor Lawrence generating 35 or more touchdowns. I don't think I would have expected the Jags to have the number 1 run defense. I certainly wouldn't have expected 30-plus defensive turnovers forced.
No.
After having 8 defensive turnovers the year before, 1 on special teams. I never really paid that much attention to plus-minus in the red zone, so I'd have to see where they've ranked statistically. But I would have probably said that Trevor Lawrence would be the most likely one to do that, to hit 35, because I think he's fully capable, as he showed, of doing that. That doesn't mean you can have a lot of touchdowns. If you offset them, though, with too many turnovers, then it's not as good as just that raw number would suggest. So it's not about what you think is the most likely today. It's about which one of those categories you think would be the most beneficial. Which milestone do you want the Jags to repeat, seeing how it is Groundhog Day? So your thoughts on a corner with the first pick in the draft, if you want to get in on that, you're certainly welcome to. Let's start to break down some of these categories and what they would mean for the Jacksonville Jaguars going into 2026. If you could count on this level or near that level of production once again. Again, that's your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Do you want 30-plus defensive turnovers, a top 5 red zone plus-minus, meaning you're outscoring your opponents by more than they're scoring, and you're top 5 in that category? Would you rather have the number 1 run defense or Trevor Lawrence produce 35 or more touchdowns as we look to run it back in some of these categories on Groundhog Day? You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. No static ever. Download the free 1010XL app for Apple and Android devices and take us with you wherever you go. 1010XL.
What's up, Duval? I'm Chad Volamic, owner of Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran-owned pool company for over 10 years. We specialize in new pool construction and pool renovations, built on military values, integrity, communication, attention to detail, and honor. Now is the perfect time to start your pool project, so when the heat hits, your pool is ready. As an Iraq War veteran and Purple Heart recipient, pride in what I do is everything. Let me show you the difference in how my team and I execute your pool project with military precision. Call Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company.
Jaguars Today.
You're settled into a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
This is the kind of sandwich you don't rush. French dip at Firehouse Subs. Premium roast beef loaded with caramelized onions, melted provolone cheese, and topped with Italian seasoning. Stacked on a toasted garlic bread roll with hot au jus for dipping. For a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Annie Craig Charnley, senior basketball player at Wilson High. Annie is the co-president of the National Honor Society and is on the AB Honor Roll and the AP Scholar Award.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
We don't have too many cold nights on the First Coast, but when the temperature drops, you want to hit the heat button and warm up. That's where Florida Home comes in. They're the AC experts in Jacksonville, and the importance of keeping your heating system in good working order is really important. If it stops working when it gets cooler, Florida Home will leap into action and provide you with the best solution. Heater and heat pump repair service and new system installation. They do it all. Just call Florida Home AC at 777-4300, the official heating and AC partner of the Jaguars.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron. Totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, we move along here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL. Tony, looking at the run defense rankings for the National Football League for team defense last year. We know the Jags give up the fewest yards per game of any team in the National Football League, a little under 86. Broncos at 91, Seahawks at 92, Texans at 94, and the Bucs at 99, the only teams under 100 yards per game. So the Jags, that's a pretty significant margin. Now, top four teams all did well, all made the playoffs. Bucs did not. Patriots at 6, so there's 5 out of 6. Colts did not. Chargers did. Chiefs and Ravens did not. So 6 out of the top 10 teams. Mm-hmm. Would you expect that to be a high number, or what was that kind of like what you would expect? I would think maybe a little bit more, 7 or 8 teams who gave up the fewest rushing yards. But you have to wonder, are they so bad against the pass in some instances that teams just can move the ball at ease in that regard, and they don't waste their time trying to run against those teams?
Yeah, I would say you almost have to assume that if you're looking at the list of the top 10, year to year, that probably at least 2 of those are going to be teams that teams just don't run against because they can throw. So
and also if they have good offenses and you're behind, you're going to abandon the run more quickly. You're going to have, but this is
so it's kind of baked into it. So it's not a direct thing, right? Like it is a year to year kind of thing. I think to some degree this year, even for the Jaguars who wound up leading the league in rushing yards allowed per game, part of that was they were worse against the pass than they were against the run. I would say that would be true, to when you're looking at this team this year. But I do think you look at what they did, especially look that playoff game against Buffalo. That's a very dangerous runner and a very dangerous running game that they were going against. So whatever assumptions you were making about them, and it did feel like there were a lot of Bills fans that were willing to make assumptions about, well, that's because X, Y, and Z. That's why they were up here. And then you see what they did that day, and it's like, no, it might just be because they were really good at doing this year. Like they had the discipline to look. It's not a bunch of names that the whole league is going to know, but the combination of the guys, they were where they needed to be all the time in the run game. So look, I don't think this is a team this year in the Jaguars that is anywhere near that category of teams could throw against them so they didn't run. I think they were just excellent against the run this year. I don't know how repeatable that's going to be, but they were excellent this year.
Out of the top 13 teams in run defense, 9 of them made the postseason. So that's pretty reflective. The ones who didn't, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Colts, who collapsed, the Chiefs, who weren't maybe going to make the playoffs anyway, but did lose their quarterback, the Baltimore Ravens, who came down to the final weekend of the season. But then again, the Steelers made it in, so one of those teams is going to be in, one was going to be out, right? If you look at red zone plus minus. In other words, just take the amount of points your team scored in the red zone versus the amount of points that they allowed in the red zone. Here are the leaders in this category. Rams at number 1. They scored 333. They gave up 192 for a plus 141 total. The best in the National Football League. Seahawks next. These two teams just met in the NFC Championship game. 306 scored, 198 allowed for a plus 108. The only two teams better than plus 100 rating. The same division, the 49ers, who also went, fairly deep to the divisional round of the playoffs. 312 scored, 213 allowed, plus 99. The Patriots are in the Super Bowl. They were 4th with a plus 87, and the Jaguars were 5th in the league in this category. Plus, they scored 294. They allowed 210, plus 84, good for 5th best in the league. Continuing on, the Bills are at 6. Obviously, they're a playoff team, won a playoff game. The Broncos just lost in the AFC Championship game. They're a playoff team. They're 7th, so 7 for 7 at the top in this statistic. The Lions were 8, and they've had a lot of issues this year and tons of injuries on defense and collapse. Didn't make the postseason. Wouldn't be surprised if they got back in, but they didn't make it. So there's 1. The Colts are at 9. And again, much like in the run defense category, they collapsed late in the season, cost themselves a playoff spot. The Packers and the Vikings are tied at 10. The Packers in, the Vikings not. Then you have the Texans at 12, tied with the Chargers. So out of the top 13 here, you had 10. A little bit more of an indicator of who's more likely to go to the postseason was plus minus in the red zone. It's not a stat that we hang our hat on that much, but really there are only a few outliers in this whole thing. Like the Bears are down at 19th. They were -3, and the Bears were that team that had those crazy comebacks this year. They'd find themselves down, winning kind of by the seat of their pants. The Steelers were underwater at -12 on that, but they also snuck in on the final day of the season. And then you had the Panthers, who won their division, but they won it with a losing record, and they were 57 points underwater. So they got blown out in a few games, and then they kind of righted the ship, won enough close games to win a bad division. So Anyway, pretty instructive in terms of figuring out which teams are going to go to the postseason.
Yeah, I can remember years ago, Pete Prisco having a conversation with him about, the kind of numbers behind the numbers, like what numbers really stand out in league circles. The team circle that maybe we don't talk about enough. And I can remember one of the numbers he talked about was rushing touchdowns for versus rushing touchdowns against, because it's about you being able to control the game in that part of the field. And a bunch of the teams, as you were listening there, in my head, I'm like, yeah, they can run it whenever they want to. Basically, when they get down to that part of the field, they run when they want to run, especially a team like Buffalo. Who's stopping Josh Allen?
Right.
Inside the 5.
Honestly, who was stopping Trevor Lawrence in the second half of the year?
And that points to these kind of numbers, is they were so good in that category, and the run defense was good enough that even in that part of the field, they were strong. I don't think they were probably the strongest team in the league necessarily in that particular number. I'm looking at the numbers from this season, and they're like 10th or 11th with touchdowns allowed on the ground, 13. But that's still a really good number for a football team that, look, when you're having Trevor have the kind of success he's having, I think they rushed for 22 themselves, so they were +9 in that category. And it kind of speaks to, I think if we looked at all these teams, it would be similar. Right, with those numbers specifically, I think it would be similar as far as why are they that successful? They don't allow you to run it in when you get down there as much, and they run it when they want to when they get down there.
Or at least they're a threat to do it.
Right.
Maybe they don't run it at will, but they run it pretty successfully.
It's easier to do it that way than it is to do the pass thing. Now, the Rams have the Devontae Adams had a crazy year down there in that part of the field, right? So they do have that advantage where they can play jump ball with Devontae all day, and it was very successful for them this year. Most teams don't have that option.
Yeah, most teams do not. They were number 1 in the league because of that. Also had a pretty solid running game with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum as well. And you look at that number and you wonder, man, Seattle just fortunately for them, had their number 2 out of 3 times this year. And if they hadn't split in the regular season, Rams would have been hosting the championship game. And who knows, maybe we would be talking about a matchup of the top 2 most likely MVP contenders in Drake May and Matt Stafford. All right, hour 2 on the way. Let's dig a little deeper into some of these options. What do they mean for the Jacksonville Jaguars? We're asking you today on Groundhog Day, which one of these milestones you'd most like the Jaguars to repeat in 2026? Defensive turnovers, red zone plus minus, run defense, Trevor Lawrence's touchdown production. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for my friends at Dandy Foods, locally owned and operated by the Thompson family, good old Jacksonville family, since way back in 1956. 70 years ago, I've talked about Dandy's outstanding products for over a decade. I personally enjoyed them for about 3 times as long because Dandy is the perfect go-to when you're in a hurry and you don't want the hassle of a long wait. Whether it's a hearty Italian footlong, maybe a delicious chicken salad sandwich, you can't go wrong. Dandy's got phenomenal variety, a great value as well compared to the drive-thru. Fast, fresh, always tasty because they make them with the highest quality ingredients, and they're waiting for you in the cold cases of convenience stores all over town. As a matter of fact, the next time you're on the west side, stop in at the Kickstart Food Store located at Commonwealth Avenue 295. They've got a great selection of Dandy sandwiches, enough to satisfy even the heartiest appetite. Full breakfast menu, light on-the-go options. Dandy's the name to know when you're hungry in Duval. So do what I do when you are. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
This cannot be a team of common men, because common men go nowhere. You have to be uncommon.
1010XL.
Spring is almost here. Is your yard ready? Lucas Tree Service, a family-owned business with over 45 years of experience, is your local certified arborist for tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for residential or commercial properties. Protect your home, boost your curb appeal, and get top-notch service from a Jacksonville company. Make sure your trees are healthy and safe before summer hits. Schedule your tree inspection today at lucastreeservice.com.
Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Jaguars Today.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health, February 11th, and culminates with a Daytona 500 on February 15th. This week, you can win a pair of tickets to the Daytona 500. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name answer to 641-1010 for a chance to win tickets to the Daytona 500, February 15th.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
As your 1010XL local sports update, Jacksonville's home streak ended with a loss to Florida Gulf Coast. The Dolphins shot poorly from deep and several turnovers. JU drops to 9-14 and 4-6 in the ASUN Conference. Florida State made it 2 straight on Saturday, knocking off Stanford behind a career-high 23 from Chauncey Wiggins. Robert McCray added 19, and the Noles moved to 10-12, now 3-6 in the ACC. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 41 degrees at 11:04. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, so I was wondering, because we don't usually get any NASCAR talk on this show because it's not a general sports show. And I saw the text line, people kept texting William Byron. I'm like, is this a cornerback that you'd like us to try? I wasn't sure what the context was. And yes, there's a William Byron NASCAR driver, 2-time Daytona 500 champ. And so I had to clear that with RJ Saunders, who text line not happy with me misidentifying you today, RJ. By the way.
Are they not?
No, they're not. They're backing you over me, and I get it.
He's won the last 2 down there, hadn't he?
I think he has, right? But regardless, so that's what it is in reference to. Somebody else said on the text line, I know you don't talk much hockey on the show, or hockey isn't really discussed. That's correct.
Yeah.
That is also something we do not talk about on the show. But they did go to the stadium series between the Lightning and the Bruins, and apparently it was fantastic. And having an outdoor game in Florida was much to their delight.
Huh.
So there you go.
Yeah, you don't get the chance to do that much.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. You know, when it comes to the hockey, don't really keep up with all the latest things going on. And if you had asked me which NHL city hosted an outdoor game, would not have been able to tell you. So anyway, I'm glad you had a good time, though, text line person. We appreciate you giving us that feedback. Tone, we'll get as the next segment, we'll get into what we would vote for on today's question of the day. It's tough to tell. We don't have enough votes in here to really know if these numbers are going to hold up. But Trevor Lawrence with 35-plus touchdowns leading the way. The one question we debated going with today being that it's Groundhog Day, if you could relive one day in Jaguar history, what would it be? What would that day be for you?
Ooh. One day in Jaguars history. It would be either for me personally or for the fan base.
For you.
For me.
Fan base is going to be dependent on how old they are and what they went through. It might be the day they got the franchise. Might be, the Morton Anderson miss. Might be 62-7. Could be a lot of things.
Right.
Could be the day that Frank Gore picked up a key first down. Right? That was a pretty damn good day.
I would honestly, I think it probably would be the comeback against the Chargers.
That's what it would be for me too. It really was, and I've been through just about every Jaguar iteration. I remember when they got the franchise, right? That day was not it for me compared to that. To me was the encapsulation of everything Jaguar football can be. Expectations, great drama, comebacks. Got to do it at home. Like those wins against Denver and Buffalo were great. Most Jaguar fans were not at those games.
You didn't get to go, yeah.
You didn't get to have that experience. I think out of all of them, if I could, the way I felt at the end of the day, that game was as good as any. I mean, the win in 2007 in Pittsburgh, I loved. That was a lot of fun. Anytime you win in the playoffs is a lot of fun. But again, on the road, it's not quite as good. You can't have that same communal experience. So for me, it definitely would have been coming back after Trevor threw the 4 interceptions. Just the way we all felt at the end of that night. It was like, it didn't matter what came before. It's the ultimate winning erases everything that comes before it.
Right. It was that was the second of back-to-back weeks where that was what happened.
Yes.
Right? Like the way that they won the game against the Titans, where the division was on the line, but they found a way late in that game with the fumble forced and the picking up, Josh Hines-Allen running down the sideline, and that was it that night. And then 6 days later, you get the experience of the game against the Chargers. Just absolute madness.
Do you have a favorite regular season Jaguar game that did not have immediate bearing on the postseason? In other words, it wasn't week 17, week 16, and it clinched for you. Is there a standout regular season performance or game? Because I have one that I think is probably top of the list for me.
The one that jumps to my mind is the overtime game against the Chargers in 17.
Okay. That was a crazy one.
Yeah, with, Blake turns it over twice in the last 2 minutes of the game, and the defense just keeps finding a way.
And they won. No quarterback turns it over twice in the final 2 minutes and wins.
No.
No one does that. It'd probably be week 1 in 2017 for me. The arrival of Saxonville, the 10 sacks against the hated Texans, and the complete, we think we're going to be good this year.
And going through the storm at the same time.
Yes.
There was a lot
You
going on
showed
with
up
that
and
one,
delivered the beatdown of beatdowns to set the tone for what would turn out to be one of the best seasons in Jaguar history. Anyway, vote on today's question. Which 2025 milestone do you want the Jags to repeat in 2026? Let's go through them and lend our vote when we come back. Tony's going to take us around the National Football League as well. Got a lot to get into here. This is Jaguars Today on a fresh week leading into Super Bowl 60 on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Does anybody know how to get where we're going?
You know Dan Hicken.
Thank you. You're marvelous.
And you know Jeff Prosser.
People seem to like me because I am polite and I'm rarely late.
Mornings on the Drill.
You're a nicer person than I am.
On 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, celebrating our 49th annual Valentine's Day sale. Come see our hand-picked inventory of thousands of pieces of fine jewelry, diamonds, and gemstones. This Valentine's Day, we have big discounts with jewelry for any budget. And with interest-free financing, you'll get the jewelry you love with a monthly payment you can afford. Monahans will also give you cash for your unwanted gold or silver, or trade it in for new jewelry and get greater value. Monahan Jewelers Valentine's Day sale with big savings in our entire inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
It's a Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard?
Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. And when the weather starts to shift a little bit, especially during the fall, you've got some really cool stuff from Honda Off-Road.
We do. It's the favorite time of the year for me. Nice little chill in the air. We've got some side-by-sides. We've got the ATVs. Of course, they're legendary dirt bikes. We've got it all.
And for the hunter?
Oh, we've got side-by-sides that work and play.
All right, so make sure you check it out. Showroom wide open for you on Atlantic near Regency. If you want to go off-road and have some fun, check out Cycles of Jacksonville.
If your home doesn't have a fireplace, CSS can install a beautiful electric or gas fireplace from Heat & Glow with no major remodel required. See their showroom or cssoutdoor.com for a free estimate. CSS, you dream it, we build it.
Develop a perfect pitch with Dan, Jeff, and PGA Pros on Brunch with the Tour. Tuesday morning at 8:30. Teed up by Clearwater Irrigation on Jacksonville's Golf Station. 1010XL.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater Irrigation
and drainage too.
Today's restaurant of the day, Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King. Try their new char wings. Char-broiled, never fried, grilled to perfection. Available as a 3 or 10-piece side combo meal with rice and a drink. Order today at one of 5 Jacksonville Flame Broiler locations.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we continue along here. Hour 2 of Jaguars Today, kicking off a fresh week. You know, many times in the recent past, Tony and I would be at the locale of the Super Bowl. I feel like the next time I go, I hope, is to cover the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is kind of where I'm at on that whole thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, love the 14 years, 14 different occasions we did cover Super Bowls, but at this point in time, I am content to let somebody else chase down the latest person from the Hunt Auction Group, Tony, to let us know what's being auctioned off for NFL charities or whatever the case may be. Look, it was a great week.
Some cool stuff doing that.
There's right. We got to rub elbows. It's so funny. Like, you know, a lot of people would kill to have the experience of hanging out and seeing all those folks. And it's like anything else. You do it enough times, you're like, all right, you know, what am I going to talk about with Emmitt Smith this year? Don't know.
Right.
You know, and it is what it is. You know, and part of it is being out on the West Coast, man. It's a hole. If the Jags make it in LA next year, fantastic. I would imagine most personnel from the station will be going to cover it in team fashion.
Absolutely.
And who knows? Maybe when it circles back, like to the Florida swing and New Orleans and stuff like that, you can get me back out there. But for now, I'm not. Put it this way: I'm not anticipating, media night tonight or opening night as they've deemed it.
Yeah, I got a couple emails last week from our regular people, you know, that are handling everybody when we get out there for the Super Bowl, and they were like, "Hey, are you coming out?" It's like, "Nah, we're not coming out this year."
No,
right? So they're trying to get everything in line. Yeah,
I don't blame them.
No,
it's commerce. That's really what it is. It's a week of commerce. No doubt. It is as much attention paid to the NFL this week, ironically, with only 2 teams left, as any other week out there.
Yeah. And the Super Bowl, we both had the opportunity to go to the actual game.
Sure.
And it is such
Several
a
times.
corporate event.
It is, but if you've never been, it was phenomenal. The first one I ever went to
fun.
was the one here in Jacksonville, and I thought it was spectacular.
I mean, I was there for 28-3. That's the one that I got to go to.
Yeah.
And I can remember being in the stadium when Tom Brady threw that interception, the pick 6, there late in the first half, and him being on his knees on the field with everyone running by, and I'm like, did I just see the end of it for Tom Brady?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that's what it felt like that day, and then
answer no,
the Patriots did what they did that day.
Right.
Yeah. Like, it was incredible to be in the building, but it was one of those, like, while it's happening, I'm like, I wish this was a stadium full of people that are rooting hard for one team or the other this entire time, as opposed to little packs of it happening, right? Like, because it feels less like a football game in that way than it does just kind of an event, And so from that perspective, it takes a little bit away from it, but that doesn't make it any less fun to watch. And it's not like I won't be completely locked in.
100%.
Like it's the Super Bowl.
It's the Super Bowl. It is what if you don't want to watch the Super Bowl, you're probably in the wrong business.
Yeah.
It is the one game that, even though the commercials are maybe, every once in a while you still get one that is the buzz that everybody's talking about, but I'll still watch every single one. That's the one
Super Bowl
event.
Commercials, halftime, game,
everything.
It's the whole thing.
I'll pause it if I have to walk away and, and I'll fall behind and stay off social media, but I try not to miss any of it. All right. Today, Tone, instead of which category that you would like the Jags to repeat in, let's start with which categories you think they're most likely to repeat in, or how likely they are to repeat in any of these categories. Okay. The way we started off this poll today, being that it's Groundhog Day, these are all things the Jags accomplished in 2025. Which one, if they could replicate it in 2026, would go the furthest to helping them have a good year? Getting 30 or more defensive turnovers, how likely is that for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Not very.
I think incredibly unlikely.
Yeah.
Incredibly unlikely.
It's basically 2 a game.
Right.
Yeah.
And, if you say, well, they just did it. Yes, they did. They also came off a year where they only had 9 total, including on special teams. Now, I get it.
Odds are it'll go back to some median in between.
I would hope it's not right in the middle. I would hope it's something strong in the 20s, but 30 is a big number. Is it possible? Obviously, it's possible. They did all of these things this year, so they're all possible. I just don't think that's super, super likely. What about top 5 in the red zone plus minus? In other words, outscoring your opponents by more than you allow in the red zone.
I really like Liam Cohen in that part of the field, right? So that would be one of the ones that I'm most confident in with the football team. Like, I think, when you combine that one and the next one are kind of combined to me, because I do think the run defense speaks to the plus minus. It's how effective are you at not allowing easy touchdowns on the ground in that part of the field. So I do think they're kind of combined, but I have a lot of confidence that Liam Cohen's going to have them competitive every time they get to that part of the field, right? Like, I'm very confident in what he does play calling there. So
I wonder if you took all the times. Now, I don't know how often he does this in the red zone. This is more like a 35-yard line kind of thing, it feels like. But how many times he went for it on 4th down and converted? If you assume once you're in the red zone, the field goal is automatic. And you can't assume that, but for the sake of the argument.
Sure.
Cam Little's going to make almost every field goal that you ask him to make under 40 yards, right? And
so the points they gained by going for it.
Right. What was the net effect for the entirety of the season?
Be interested to go back and look.
Right. You would think, I would hope that they're winning on the scoreboard more than they're losing. Otherwise, why are you continuing to do this? Then your internal metrics start to tell you this is probably not the thing to do. And, does that mean we wouldn't have taken the field goal in the playoffs? I think we talked about that a good bit. You might not have. Yeah. I would have. So be it. It is what it is. But when Liam Cohen says afterwards, well, 100%, we do it again, that tells you that they're going to continue to be aggressive there. And I think those are the teams that are more aggressive in the red zone are probably the teams that end up higher ranked in this category, is my guess. Yeah. The way it all shakes out. All right. So, number one run defense in the National Football League. What's the likelihood of that happening again?
I put that kind of in the same category to me of likelihood as the 30-plus turnovers.
I think it's more likely you lead the league in run defense than you produce 30 turnovers. Yeah. But then again, only one team can lead. You can be second. You could have a better run defense. You could allow fewer yards per game, and it's totally out of your hand as to whether or not somebody has a better statistical ranking in that. But I still feel like I just think that 30 turnover number is so ridiculously high. And then Trevor Lawrence with 35 or more touchdowns. How likely is that?
Easily the most likely of the four to me.
I'd be disappointed if it doesn't happen again.
Like, it does feel like that's like a 70-30 kind of probability in my head.
If he plays every game again, I would hope the expectation is that he continues to grow and that he will top what he did last year. Will it be the same bout? Will he run for 9 scores? Maybe not. Maybe he'll end up throwing for 35 next year, though, and he'll run for 6, something along those lines. But this is one area that, again, all these things are somewhat predicated on the health of your team. If you have a bunch of defensive turnovers or a bunch of defensive injuries, I knew I'd stumble upon the word eventually, you're not probably going to have the number one run defense or create all those turnovers with backup players and on and on and on.
Right. Well, I think he had to run as much as he did this year for the 35 to get there, right? And you look at him, he wound up 5th in the entire league in touchdown passes with 29, right? And there are 4 quarterbacks in the league that had 30. 4. And only one of them had 40. That's Stafford with 46, Goff had 34, May had 31, Dak Prescott had 30, right? Like 30 touchdowns throwing is a monster year. Right, and I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence,
on the year.
Right, like Trevor Lawrence can't be a guy that we think is going to be around that number here for the next several years, which I expect him to be. But 35, even combined, that's a lot.
Year before,
Joe Burrow 43, Baker Mayfield 41, Lamar 41, Goff 37, Darnold 35.
Right, so you had 5 guys that were 35 or higher. Now they're the only guys over 30.
Yeah.
But you had 5. That to me is a more typical NFL season, to have 2 or 3 guys around 40. Either way.
And then you go the year before, it was Dak led the league with 36. Jordan Love 32, Brock Purdy 31, Jared Goff 30. So it seems like it's usually 4 to 6 quarterbacks hit 30, right? In a typical NFL season is what it's kind of landing around.
Yeah, I guess I just feel like anecdotally in my head that it's that 30, whatever those 5 are doing, they're in a higher category. You know what I mean? Like they may just only be 5 guys over 30, but 2 years ago they were all over 35.
Yeah.
Or 35 or higher.
You go back the year before to 22, Mahomes led the league with 41, Burrow 35, Josh Allen 35, Geno Smith 30. That's the list.
All right, so right now 49% of people said they'd rather have Trevor Lawrence repeat his year. And I get it. You want Trevor Lawrence to continue to ascend and all that. What category would you vote for if the Jags could only repeat one of those milestones?
Trevor.
You would?
I would.
I'd go 30 defensive turnovers in a second. It just sets you up with so many opportunities for short fields.
I think, to me, it's the Trevor having that kind of season again. He's an MVP candidate again. And I think Trevor Lawrence playing at an MVP candidate kind of level, you can deal with whatever you're dealing with on the rest of the team, in my mind. But if you're getting that level of Steezy Trev, Like, he keeps everything competitive for the football team. Not that any of these categories would be bad, right? Like, but yeah, if I had to pick one, it would be Trev is an MVP.
Man, I think, look, is he an MVP? I mean, he's not going to win MVP this year.
No.
Right? So he could have the same numbers next year. Doesn't necessarily mean it. I understand what you're saying. MVP level, I just think it's so rare to take the ball away 30 times from your opponent, like twice a game. You're giving your team short field, extra possession, whatever the case may be. And yeah, you can offset that negatively somewhat by creating your own turnovers, but it is tough to make up the difference. I mean, who the Bears led the way in turnovers, right? They were negative in terms of red zone plus minus, in terms of they allowed more points than they scored in the red zone this year, but they took the ball away from their opponents so many times that they ended up winning the division and had a little, mini playoff run for themselves. So I would definitely get that. Look, I get any one of these. They're all attractive.
Yeah.
Red zone plus minus, I'm surprised it's actually getting as much traction as it is because people don't think of that stat necessarily. But when you look at 10 of the top 13 teams made the postseason.
Right.
And, the two Super Bowl teams, 3 of the 4 championship game participants were in the top 4 in that category. It's kind of hard to overlook the importance. I'm surprised, though, that only 8% of the people want the number 1 run defense. I think if you have the number 1 run defense, again, it can come down to because you're so bad against the pass. That can be a thing.
I didn't feel that way.
I no, not at all. But it can go that way.
Yeah.
I think the teams just don't bother to try to run against you. I think so too.
Like, I think those two categories fed each other this year.
Yeah. Look, I maybe it's because I expect Trevor Lawrence to be back in that range that I don't expect this team to produce 30 defensive turnovers many more times in the franchise's history. It's just not done that often.
No.
And this was the year, and combine all these things combined to help him go 13-4 this year. But right now, people sticking with Trevor Lawrence as the milestone they'd most like the Jaguars to repeat in terms of his touchdown productivity. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. Tony will take us around the National Football League 6 days out from Super Bowl 60 with the Seahawks and the New England Patriots. What's the latest from around the NFL? We'll tell you on the other side. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Jacksonville Sports 24/7. Your teams, your town, on your time. The 1010XL network is here. Find 1010XL at 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Jaguars Today.
It's a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Leadership looks different on every woman, and every story deserves the spotlight. I'm Liz Gruby, the events director from the Jacksonville Business Journal. I would love for you to join us, PNC Bank, and our 2026 Women of Influence honorees for an unforgettable celebration honoring the women shaping our business community, opening doors, and lifting others along the way. Women of Influence, because powerful leadership deserves to be celebrated. Get your tickets now at jbjevents.com.
Free for life? Just by saying that, you already know I'm referring to Awaken 180. They're the only company providing it. Fast, proven weight loss, and then keep it off thanks to free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. It's the lowest in years. Hey, gang, Prosser here. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact, get cash out, equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loans. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards, some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now. See what option works best for you, but don't miss this big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com. No hard credit pull. 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit
NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. People ask, are your solutions for thinning hair permanent? Yes, our solutions have permanent natural results and are guaranteed to work. Put our 35 years of experience helping 10,000 plus men and women to work for your thinning hair. Our trademark hair transplant procedures will give you 3 times more hair in one procedure. PRP and laser treatments are fast, easy, and effective, and only take 30 minutes. Most of our staff have experienced hair loss ourselves. Our caring and confidential team can help you look better and feel better about yourself and restoring your hair again.
For your confidential consultation, call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com.
This is Frank Frangie for the farm in Okefenokee. Can you imagine owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Imagine enjoying fresh produce from the garden, fruit from the orchard, meats from the smokehouse. Every meal is a true farm-to-table experience all year long. Belong to a place where your family can choose nature over screens, spending their days feeding animals, picking berries, and fishing in the farm's pond. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, if it holds up, looks like we might have Tony Pauline joining us to kick off our draft coverage on Wednesday with a look back at the Senior Bowl this weekend, of which I did not take in any Senior Bowl action. What about yourself?
I had it on.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did I do Saturday? I don't know. Spent time with the wife.
Yeah. I know Tony was out at the East-West Shrine game the week before, too.
No
so
doubt.
He's been at the 2.
Yep. And so, just kind of getting our ducks in a row in terms of the Jags' needs and things like that and what might be available in the middle rounds for Jacksonville. It's going to be a new approach to covering the draft because we haven't been in this position. Not having a first-round pick, not picking until the 50s.
No, yeah.
So at least, going into it, that's the way things stand at the moment. All right, going into the rest of the National Football League, here's Tony Smith.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Arizona is hiring Los Angeles Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur as their new head coach. Reports indicate that the Las Vegas Raiders, who are the last team that has not named their next head coach, are circling Seattle offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak for that job, but they have to wait until after the Super Bowl this week to finalize any deal like that. The NFL has reportedly informed teams that the salary cap will be going up to somewhere between $301.2 and $305.7 million for 2026. The 2025 cap was $279.2. The NFL agreed to a multi-year deal to play regular season games in Madrid, Spain, after playing there for the first time this year.
All right, thank you, Tony. It's obvious we're moving towards what they want, which is everybody playing one international game a year, at minimum, one international game a year. Jags obviously have committed to giving up a home game, at least for the foreseeable future, and it doesn't look like anyone's looking to roll that back anytime soon.
No.
Think about it. The inconvenience of your team. Yes, you don't want to give up a home game. I get that. But I'd much rather have my team playing in London than traipsing off to Australia or some of these. That travel has gotten almost commonplace at this point in time and learning how to figure that out. I don't think it's that big a deal. I don't know if there have been too many lingering effects on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They haven't been good enough to know most years that they've been playing overseas, whether or not they're going to have any kind of lingering effects.
Yeah, look, we were just having the conversation about the question of the day, right? And the Trevor Lawrence with the 35-plus touchdowns and the 30-plus turnovers for the defense. Look, this is a franchise. They've been going now for 31 years. They've won 5 division titles, right? In the 30-plus years that they've been playing football, 2 of them in the last 4 years with Trevor Lawrence, right? So the only this is the second run of real sustained success it looks like they might be able to have with a quarterback. Right? It's Burnell early and Trevor Lawrence right now.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 runs at quarterback the franchise has ever had. So we'll see what it looks like going forward for this football team. But it does kind of flip you a little bit when you start looking at it from those kind of perspectives. They've won 5 division titles, 2 of them with Trevor Lawrence.
Right. And still, they're pretty rare overall. Who do you think Jag fans feel had the better season? Jags won the division over the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Texans won a playoff game.
They did.
And went further than the Jaguars. Who had the better year?
If this is funny, like if you were in Houston, it would be Houston all day, right? The only way this is even a question is because you're doing it from a Jacksonville perspective, right?
And I am, so.
Right.
What is your answer?
Like
Clearly,
from a Houston perspective, they're the team that had the comeback victory the last time they played, and they're the team that won the playoff game. Like it's
also though had the team that ended their season with major questions about their quarterback.
Absolutely.
Right? Is he worth the Trevor Lawrence size investment? And that's part of the picture, I think, as well.
Like a question about which one do I feel better about over the next 3 years.
Who's better positioned? That's part of it.
Jacksonville.
Okay. Why?
Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Because this season has given you that confidence that there's that much separation between the two. And if you feel that way, then the rest of it is kind of, it rises and falls. Can you keep all those defensive players together that are currently on the Houston Texans, for instance?
Yeah.
And when you have those
How
questions,
much longer can Danielle Hunter play like this?
Putting questions about the future aside, who had the better year?
I'd probably say Houston.
I would too, because you went further.
Yeah.
Ultimately, in the end, and Grant, the Jags are the ones who can hang a banner for a division title if they, choose to go that route. But and so from that standpoint, you're the best in the division, but they also were still playing football when you were done.
Yep.
And you could say, hey, we were better. It doesn't matter. You didn't win. Right? I mean, Buffalo's going to sit here and say, no, we're better. We beat you in your place. Yeah. And there's 0% of Jaguar fandom that if the roles had been reversed would say that the Jags would not be the better team in that circumstance.
Absolutely, yeah.
And fairly so. Point being,
that's why they have a tournament.
Correct. In 2026, it may be a case of delayed gratification, Tone. This team won 13 games this year. Are they likely to win 13 games again? Well, they've only done it a couple times in franchise history, so likely, I'd say no.
Yeah.
Capable? Yeah, of course they're capable. They showed you they're capable. But they're going to lose some guys. Will they be as healthy? Will Trevor Lawrence play as well as he did throughout the course of the year?
Yeah,
will
restart the whole thing?
Everything. Will the offensive line perform, to the point where they had many games where they didn't allow Trevor to be touched? All those things. So maybe this year you win 10. Maybe you win 11. Maybe you win 12. Maybe you win 13 and you're second place in your division. Just go look at the NFC West.
Yeah, if they do it, get into the divisional round or beyond, it's a better year.
It's a better year, period. Win. If you're still playing in the second week of the postseason, you'll have had a better year this year. If you are a 9-8 team that somehow gets in, either through fluky wild card shenanigans or because the division collapsed, again, you win one playoff game. It's a better year. Doesn't mean a better team, but it's a more successful year. And along the way, Tony, the first time, we reach a point, let's say in November, and the Jags fall to 8-5. right? Or, oh, they've already lost more games than they lost the whole last year, right? And there's going to be, because
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Happens,
It's
that's
sports, right?
Happen,
It's sports. And so we're all going to go, oh, my gosh. And then they lose a sixth one or a seventh one. Or we're like, wait a minute, how are they? Oh, yeah, they're in, but they clearly took a step back this year. Well, then they go out and beat somebody's brains in the wild card round. Who cares, right? I mean, give me right now whatever record you want to hang on the Jaguars with them advancing automatically to the divisional round of the playoffs, and I'll take my chances next year. Let's go. I just think it's interesting to look at. They may be saying the same thing in Houston. Oh, I enjoy that division title, but we advance further in the playoffs. A lot of that, too, is matchup based. Would they have gotten past Buffalo? Who knows, right? We don't know. We know that Houston survived and advanced 1 week longer than the Jaguars did. Let's make sure that that's not the case again in 2026. We'll come back and take a look at the final poll numbers for this morning, where things are leaning on what you'd like the Jags most to repeat in 2026 on this Groundhog Day. RJ Saunders, Tony Smith, I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit hollispools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
Dreamfinders Homes, Monday.
On Jaguars Today.
Valentine's Day is sweet, but let's be honest, your septic tank wants attention too. Because when it gets ignored, it doesn't sulk, it causes problems, big ones. That's why Rooter, the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, is rolling out the Show Your Septic Some Love promotion. Right now, get $50 off septic tank pumping when you book by February 28th. Give your septic a little love now so it doesn't make a big scene later. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, duckduckrooter.com.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CARD Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Duval Fence is looking for the best in fence installers. Check out DuvalFence.com right now and fence in a great job opportunity. From estimates to installers, they're looking for you right now. Log on to DuvalFence.com for all the details. Equal opportunity employer.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are two important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The two-stage coating application? Sure. But nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds?
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll treasure forever? It's easier than you think at Beard's Diamonds this Valentine's Day. We've curated a stunning selection of timeless, affordable jewelry she'll absolutely love. Dazzling rings, sparkling earrings, elegant pendants and bracelets, set with brilliant diamonds or colorful gemstones. Classic gold that never goes out of style. And you can't beat the wow factor of top brand designer jewelry. At Beard's, we've got it all under one roof. And right now, we're cranking up the romance with an unbeatable limited time offer. Save up to 40% on all diamond stud earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets. Imagine her face lighting up when she opens that signature Beard's box on February 14th. Pure magic that lasts a lifetime. Guys, cards, flowers, and candy are sweet, but nothing says I love you forever like a sparkling gift she'll wear and cherish every single day. And that gift is on major sale right now. Plus, Beard's is your local Jacksonville jeweler, family-owned and community strong for over 45 years. Right here in the St. John's Town Center. Not some Wall Street chain. We're your neighbors, and we're here for you. Hurry in today. Don't wait. Beard's Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
So the Rams, Tony, are 92-57 under Sean McVay as the head coach. Pretty good, right? A lot of games. It's not nearly the clip that Liam Cohen coached the Jags to last year, but that's you come out of the gates quick. You set the bar pretty high. But the Jags won more than 3/4 of their games last year. But McVay and Les Snead, the GM of the Rams, just got signed to multi-year contract extensions. That was announced this morning. I hope we get to that point where Liam Cohen and James Gladstone have a day together where they sign multi-year contract extensions, and it's met with, of course, widespread approval by Jaguar Nation, not raised eyebrows. I'm sure in L.A. they're like, oh, good, business as usual. Keep those guys. We know we got to have them here, what they've been able to accomplish. Even if you come up short of your ultimate goal, if every coach was thrown into a pool and everyone had their pick of the job openings, whatever one, who would be the most coveted coach? Would McVay be the guy? Seems like he would be.
I think so.
Right,
yeah.
based on youth and coaching tree and you hear all that, be coach under McVay. You're hearing a lot more of that these days. He would probably be that guy. You mentioned the rise of the salary cap. I think you and I have been operating under the assumption it was going to rise to somewhere in that neighborhood, so it's not like this is catching teams by surprise. It goes up every year.
Yeah.
It may go up by about $20 million this year, but I feel like it's been rising like that in recent seasons. I'm sure that they have probably budgeted with that in mind. I don't think they all of a sudden this weekend go, oh, we got a little windfall we weren't expecting here.
Yeah, COVID, they had 2 years where it didn't go up much. And then like post-COVID in the NFL was like, well, that money's going to come back in. It's just what's it going to look like? And for the past 3 years, basically, it's gone up 25 to 30 million.
Right.
Every year. And it's going to apparently do the same kind of thing this year.
Billy on the text line here, designed by Lifetime Enclosure, said, C.J. Stroud looks so bad in the playoffs. I would imagine that's a concern locally for Houston over there. I think it is, too. Right? He says they don't care about the Jags. If the Texans had a half-decent offense, they'd be in the Super Bowl right now. Guess what? They don't, apparently.
They don't.
Didn't have a running game, and Stroud had a meltdown and couldn't overcome his meltdown. Trevor had a meltdown in 2022, threw 4 picks, overcame it. And how you finish writes the tale quite frequently of how people perceive you. And if C.J. Stroud had that kind of second half, people would be talking about, he stared down his own failure and overcame it and all these other things. But they didn't.
They've won a playoff game every year with him.
They have.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, though, I hope they feel like he's worth every single penny. 60 million plus. Again, you can, even if with 60 million, it's not like Trevor Lawrence. People, he's not worth $55 million. He's yet to count anywhere close to that on the salary cap.
Right.
In a given year, he's going to be in the 20s again, I think, this year, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of cap hit. Let's see, Jag fan here on the text line, getting further in the tournament will always take precedence. I agree. And then here's a nice one. We ran into Trevor Lawrence and his family at my son's Tribe Academy baseball fundraiser. He came over and talked to the boys, got our Venmo, and donated $500 to their fundraiser.
Cool.
That is cool. Trevor Lawrence, I'd like to run into you this weekend myself, if that's going to be the case. All right. No, it's a nice thing from Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, it's
And,
awesome.
You know, I'm sure plenty of guys on the Jacksonville Jaguars that do plenty of those kind of things that don't get publicized. And, he's a millionaire. He can afford more than that. Sure he can. What did you donate? Right? I mean, it's still a nice thing. Doesn't mean just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean you have to donate to every good cause that's out there. But it was nice that he did in this occasion. Yeah. Right now, final tally before we go off the air, 49% would rather have Trevor Lawrence replicate the 35 or more touchdowns. 26% chose the right answer and went with 30 or more defensive turnovers. I'm right there in that category.
Yeah.
Top 5 red zone plus minus got 15%, and just under 10% said they'd rather run back the number 1 run defense in the National Football League. Again, these are all 4 categories that the Jaguars achieved in 2025, and you start to think about that. You're like, wow, man, how often can you put all these things together? And, yeah, you're right, Tone. Maybe, having a good run defense plays into your red zone plus minus and things like that. But none of these things are guaranteed for you in 2026. So it's a high bar to reach once again. Let's find out what Leon Searcy would choose given that option as we wrap up and welcome in XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Big Sirs, how are you?
How you doing, gentlemen?
We're okay. How are you? How was the weekend?
Pretty cold.
It was, you know what?
Did you see any snow is the question.
Cold.
Any snow, any
I
flurries,
did not.
Any flakes.
I saw nothing of the sort, although when it was really cold, my butt was in bed like Saturday night. But I did wake up like the way the ice crystals had formed on my windshield looked like little snowflakes, the way they were all kind of speckled all over there. So that's as close as I'm probably getting.
Okay, I didn't get that. I would have looked forward to that.
It was cold.
Yeah, it was cold, bro.
It was cold. That's all right.
It was breezy every time I left the house, too.
I have clothes.
Wind was blowing
able to
always.
put them on. There was a little wind kicking up.
Yeah, and I live in a townhouse complex. So when I turned that corner, it's like, I felt the hawk. I felt it.
The hawk was out.
It was out.
The hawk was out.
It was.
Leon, I'm going to give you 4 categories that the Jaguars all accomplished this year.
Okay.
If you could only run it back, being that this is Groundhog Day, we want to run one of these things back this year.
Mm-hmm.
You can have 30 or more defensive turnovers. Okay. You can be top 5 in red zone plus minus, meaning your score minus the points you allow.
Gotcha.
All right. They were 5th this year in that category. You can have the number 1 run defense in football again, or you can have Trevor Lawrence produce 35 or more touchdowns.
Ooh, yes.
And they hit every one of those this year.
They did.
And going 13-4. If you knew you could run one category back, Trevor.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me why.
He's a heartbeat of the team. I mean, everything goes around him, starts with him. Probably on both sides of the ball. His ability not to turn over, his ability to move the chains, score points, that kind of stuff affects both sides of the game. So if we can get that from Trevor again, the lack of turnovers, the touchdown. We had 38 touchdowns combined as far as
he had 9
passing,
rushing. Yes.
38 touchdowns.
29 on the ground.
I take it all day.
Yeah, look, I'd take them all, but I went with the turnovers, man. I just think.
Yeah, that would have been my second one.
30 plus.
That's a lot.
Turnovers.
That affects the game, too. As much as we talk about Trevor and affecting the game.
That can put points immediately on the board.
Exactly.
Short field you, thwart your opponents. There's so many. 2 times a game, you're stealing a possession from the other team. Like, there's no wrong answer here. Like him to repeat all these kind of things this year. What'd you do without football this week, or at least NFL football this week?
What did I do this week?
Anything good?
Let me see. I saw a little motocross.
Okay.
Golf.
Golf, yeah.
College basketball.
I watched some NBA. That was probably my most.
I usually put NBA on punishment until after the Super Bowl.
No, do you? Okay, I went with it because I knew A, I'm a Knicks fan, and B, ET was at the game.
Oh, that's right.
Cheering on LeBron last night.
That's right. Knicks did.
Helping him carry that L out of the garden. Is what he did. But it was nice. He got a couple of dunks in, so ET got what he wanted.
Okay.
Knicks fans got what they wanted, and it was all right. So what's coming up on primetime today?
We're going to talk about your team. Norvell's calling the plays again after Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, Gus Malzahn retired after 35 years.
Yeah, and then we're going to go, we're going to do prop bets.
Okay.
And then we're going to go down memory lane. 30 years ago, there was a young fella named Leon Searcy that was actually getting preparing for his first Super Bowl.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
How about that?
We all know their outcome, but The week was fun.
That
anyway.
doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the outcome is you're a freaking NFL star, Pro Bowler, and Super Bowl participant.
The week to be was interesting.
All right, good. We'll have tales from the source.
There you go.
Coming up. Leon, have a great show,
Appreciate
man. We'll probably knock out some prop bets later in the week as well. Maybe we'll do a little prop bet draft, something like that. That's always fun between myself, yourself, and RJ, or I don't know, or we'll go with a budget that you have X to spend on, and we'll see what we can do to entertain ourselves. I know you're big on the prop bets for the for the home Super Bowl party.
Yeah, for the home Super Bowl party, I'll have to put together the sheet sometime this week, yeah.
All right. Well, when you put it together, let us know. We call that quality content, Tony, around these parts. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks to Tony Smith, RJ Saunders. I'm Mike Dempsey. Week without the co-hosts as we embark onto the real offseason now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll run it back again tomorrow. Maybe we're the first Tuesday top 5 of the offseason. And all that and more coming your way. XL Primetime is next. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the renewal by